So I find the contrast, the juxtaposition of the three big leagues, Major League Baseball, the NBA, and the NFL, quite interesting. What do you think are the biggest rule changes in the last 30, 40 years for the NFL?
Can't go at the knees for the quarterback.
So safety. They're all safety related.
Safety, like that was huge. They did for a second. Replay for pass interference was huge.
Okay.
That was a quick year.
Replay in general.
Replay has been big.
Yeah.
Yes.
2-point conversions.
What is a catch? The gap, like at 2 feet, you have to make a football active
clarification on rules.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
That's probably it. Yes.
I would say the safety element is by far and away one of the biggest elements because it's opened up the middle of the field.
Yes.
Right? Defenseless receiver stuff.
Yeah, there you
we
go.
could talk a lot about the quarterback in the pocket, and there's no denying
the Tom Brady rule. Yeah,
it's
going
been
at the
huge,
knees.
Absolutely huge.
Kirk Cousins talked about that.
But I would
quarterback
say,
talk.
forget the pocket, Joe. I think over the middle, allowing wide receivers to not get their head cut off.
Massive.
Yeah, like Bernard Pollard, Dante Whitner, Steve Atwater. Those guys could not exist.
George Atkinson.
In the way that they played back then, they could not exist in today. They would have to adjust their game.
Yes. Well, Ronnie Lott could adjust the game in any era, but
he
would
also
have to
cornerback too.
Exactly, but he would also have to,
Yeah, they would all have to change.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. So, I'm just trying to think of football rules. There's been some tweaks of the rule book that have really changed the way the game is played.
Yes.
I would say the NBA adopted the 3-point line and widened the lanes, and obviously it's got defensive 3 seconds and eliminated hand check. So they opened up offense. It took a long time for the league to adjust to the 3-point line. Like, it took an entire generation and then some to be able to finally realize, if I take a step back and I shoot 33% from 3-point land, it's actually better than shooting 50% from the 2.
And you're seeing in the last few years the gather step or whatever like that, the James Harden rules, like not getting to the line as much. I'm thinking about stuff like that. And also this new one coming out where you can get what is it, a technical or it's a free throw if you're flopping?
Yeah.
Now, I'm interested to see how they enforce this because English Premier League, and I believe a lot of the top leagues in soccer have a similar thing for flopping, like giving a straight yellow.
Okay.
And I feel like they rarely call it. So I'm going to be very interested to see if it's a tight game and it's Lakers-Warriors, Steph or LeBron, does a flop, CP3, known for it, does a flop late, they call it. I'm very interested to see if they're going to be doing this in crunch time because I have a feeling they're not going to do it. I have a feeling if it's going to be a regular season thing, they're going to make an emphasis early on with it. But they're not going to call it in tight spots because they're going to be afraid.
Yeah, you're probably right. It felt like the carry rule was called a lot at the beginning to middle of the season in the NBA.
What was it in football? Legal contact?
Yes.
That's what they were the emphasis on.
We got away from it, though, don't you think, toward the end of the year? Because I don't remember a lot of carry calls in the playoffs.
Yes, correct.
Do you?
I don't. I'm not particularly.
And maybe it did happen at a high rate, but I don't remember that. I look at the rules that baseball has implemented, just the rule changes, changing the shift. It has really, really created defensive, athleticism. And then obviously the base running rules, the pitch clock, they've all been smashing successes. I mean, this could have gone sideways for baseball. It feels like to me we're having one of the best baseball seasons in forever. I mean, I'm looking right now at the standings. I mean, Joe, you've got teams that have been dormant for years. Right now, the AL East is upside down. The Yankees, they're 3 games over 500. They're
lost
the bottom.
Real quick, they've lost 9 of 11.
15-22 since Aaron Judge got hurt.
They got swept by the Angels. And
I know.
Judge is clearly...
Without Aaron Judge, excuse me. This year.
And Judge, obviously, not only massive as a human, but massive for that team.
Absolutely. And you know what? Didn't I say this about that roster? When we were talking about free agency, everyone said I was crazy. I thought the Yankee roster was dramatically overrated.
It's top-heavy.
Absolutely. Yes. Dramatically overrated. And Stanton's really not playing well. Boston Red Sox... they're 4 or 5 games over 500. No one is talking about them.
They're only 2.5 games back of the wild card, and then again, they just lost the series to the A's in Oakland.
Because the top of the AL East is the Orioles, who've been terrible forever, the Rays, who are one of the best bangs for buck in sports, and the Toronto Blue Jays, everyone's favorite team. You got the Twins that are good this year. All right, I look at the AL West. Who had the Rangers doing this?
I know. Bochy, man. What a storyline that is. And I'm telling you about the Rangers. Don't sleep on them in the Ohtani sweepstakes.
Right?
I know they're in division, but they're aggressive. Or not even just the Ohtani sweepstakes for the trade deadline, just in the offseason.
Yeah.
Like, that's a place like you, Darvish, Shohei, they're tight. Just keep that in the back of your minds.
You got Atlanta Braves. Big market, big team, big fan base. crushing it. Phillies, red hot, 52-43. I mean, there was a time we were ready to bury them. I was not ready to do so. The Marlins, right behind them, having an unbelievable year. The Mets have been not as good, nowhere near as good as their payroll. Nationals suck. I look at the Brewers are having a good year. The Reds are having a good year. I mean, the Cardinals being bad isn't the worst thing for baseball.
No, because they've been good for so long.
20 years. They've had one losing season in 20 years.
Oh, sneakily, they've won 5 in a row. Only 10 games back.
Dodgers, Diamondbacks being good. Even the Padres, as bad as it's been, they're relevant. So I guess where I'm going right now is this is the healthiest I feel like I've felt about baseball in forever. Fans are having a great time. The rule changes are working. Athleticism through the roof. Marketable stars. Markets that haven't been relevant are super relevant. I hate to give this guy credit, but Rob Manfred, I got to give it to you. Dude, everything's working out. And I was reluctant to even give you even an ounce of credit a couple of years ago. I'm coming around on Rob Manfred.
Basically what it comes down to, does the good outweigh the bad when it comes to Rob Manfred and what he's done this season? The good meaning all these rule changes. The bad being how he's handled these stadium situations. Like, does the good outweigh the bad for you? 888-957-9570.
Because I'm a Giants fan, and so I'm going to be jaded, and things that are coming out of my mouth are going to probably be felt by our audience with a bias toward my team because they have a stadium, and he is doing the bidding of the owners.
He is. That's what they are. They're mouthpieces.
That being said, I think the healthy, fair question is to say, is the A's dying on the vine in Oakland and turning your back to an entire region and basically putting the middle finger at them? Is that doing the game of baseball justice? I don't think it is.
No, and it's interesting to juxtapose this with what went on with the Raiders when they finally left to Las Vegas, right? It felt like the fans, most of the fans, and let me know if I'm wrong at 888-957-9570. I'm a Raiders fan. I'm an A's fan. I still remained that way. And maybe because the Raiders had already left to Los Angeles, it was different. It was like, that's fine. You know what? They're the West Coast kind of team. Like, we have a West Coast fan base. Okay. It's not a particular region. Yeah, we have the Bay Area. Yeah, we have Los Angeles. But Vegas, it's not too far away. Yeah. I can deal with that.
And it's
that's fine. And it's football. It's like, they're the Renegade franchise. Yeah. Al Davis, it's bigger. Yeah. Like, that's fine.
They did play their first game in Candlestick.
There you go. See, look at you. Look at you and you love your football knowledge. You and Bontes, real quick, as we get off here for a second, I am amazed with your guys' knowledge because I had 2 kids, Joe Shasky, and it felt like all my useless sports knowledge just got taken out and got replaced with diaper changing and feeding Coco times and bedtime, all this sort of stuff. So Coco Melons and all that.
Lightning McQueen.
Oh, Lightning McQueen. He's not a big cars guy, Benny. Not really? A huge cars guy.
Oh,
no.
My brother's boys, they'll stop in their tracks.
No,
and then just stare at the television.
Loves Coco, loves the Frozens, love all this sort. Loves Star Wars, actually. He's a kid after my own heart. Loves the Star Wars, loves the Mandalorian, all that sort of stuff. So love you, Benny, if you're listening, buddy. Or go back to sleep. It's only 7 o'clock. I know you sleep in a little bit for mommy. 888-957-9570. But it does feel a little different with these A's. It feels like we didn't have this vitriol with Roger Goodell, right? That we have from him. No, but Raider fans, I don't know if they did that.
Individual fan bases.
Yes.
That
sorry,
I agree with.
I don't think the Raider fans had this vitriol. It was more so
the media.
Mark Davis, the media, the coverage of it.
Yes.
Like, the A's fans hate Rob Manfred. They hate John Fisher. Now there was hate for Mark Davis.
What's the root? What's the root of? Obviously, you hate the owner, but what's the root of the hate toward Manfred? He hasn't done anything for you guys.
It's the lack of empathy. Yeah. It's him talking as if we are second-class citizens as fans. Almost doesn't care about us. Yeah. Doesn't care Oakland as a market. Even though you said these last 5 or 6 years, however long it's been managed, we believe in Oakland as a big team market. We believe in this market, and then all of a sudden, within the last few months, all of a sudden. Yeah, it's not viable anymore. Like, come on, dude. Like, be real here. At least have some transparency in your hypocrisy. It's been nauseating. It's just, I don't believe anything they say. You can try to dog the city of Oakland all you want. The city of Oakland has been crapped on for the last decade.
It's unfair.
It's unfair.
I agree.
The fan base is strong. If you build it, I believe they will come. If it was Howard Terminal and it felt like it was close, and then all of a sudden John Fisher and co. were like, you know what? Let's go over it. And I truly believe it's interesting. We knew who the architect of the move to Las Vegas was in the NFL.
Well, Jerry Jones wanted to be in Vegas.
Yes, we know that now. And they looked at Mark Davis. Hey, we'll give you a stadium out there, public money, financing, all that sort of stuff. They wanted the NFL there. Is it John Fisher really that wants to be in Vegas?
I don't know.
I don't know who is pulling the strings here. Who's the big because we know like the big ticket holders for the owners, the guys that keep up, the Robert Krafts, the Jerry Jones. Who is it in baseball, Joe Shasky? Do you know? Because I know you're a big listener to David Sampson.
Yeah, I was going to bring
and
him
maybe
up.
he has the no for these guys.
Don't shoot the messenger here. Okay, so just hear me out. He was talking about how when any team, and the NBA was the same way. You're talking about travel, and when any team would play the Oakland A's, they would stay in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And the teams would stay in San Francisco because the owners wanted to be in San Francisco. Now, I'm not here to like pretend that I don't have biases and love my city, San Francisco, but I don't see the difference of why can't you stay in Oakland? I don't understand
a Marriott
that.
downtown there.
But there's this cachet in the owner's mind, fair or not, that the owners think that they should be staying in San Francisco. So whatever, they stay in San Francisco. They don't want to be in Oakland. The owners do not want to have a team in Oakland. And I think it sucks to say out loud, but that's the sentiment that you're getting from the other owners. And you're talking about Vegas. They want to be able to stay in a suite in Vegas. I'm talking about the ownership. They want to be able to go on the road with their team and have a spot in Vegas. They want to be in that market. They want to be near the gambling money. They want to do business with those businesses.
Well, and I'm sure it's not all the owners, because if I'm the Dodgers, if I'm the Padres, if I'm the Angels, I'm the Diamondbacks, that little region over there, they're taking a bite out of my clientele there. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like right now, Vegas is an LA type of market. Like all the fan bases, right? You think of the Raiders, like it plays well down there. And now we're seeing, because it's football, all the opposing fan bases are coming there. That's just going to be is what it is. It's going to be 50-50 when you're playing against elite franchise. Hell, we saw against the Niners, we saw the red. Maybe it was even 60-40. Like you're going to be seeing that now. But they still get a lot of diehard fan base from that LA market.
Yeah.
If I'm the Giants and Larry Barranco and all these guys, I'm like, hell yeah, kick rocks. I got all the North Bay.
Same way
I got
the
Northern
Niners
California. Exactly. If I'm those owners down in SoCal, and if I'm, even how Texas, you want to toss them in, Arizona, I'm not feeling that. I don't want them taking a little bite out, because they will, because they're going to be the new, hot, fresh commodity, right?
Yeah.
So there's a little give and take. Real quick, you're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM, and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app. Download the Odyssey app and favorite 95.7 The Game for the best and most up-to-date sports coverage. Joe Chesky.
I'm looking at Major League Baseball. As we're talking about Rob Manfred getting extended for his third term as the commissioner of baseball, I'm looking around and I'm saying to myself, I can't believe it. I think for me, and people can disagree, I think he's already jumped Adam Silver.
That's interesting.
I think he's already jumped Adam Silver.
I think in the court of public opinion, Adam Silver is much more liked than him. Me personally, I think that Adam Silver is a weak commissioner. Okay.
I think that he's bowed down to public pressure at every single turn. The players at every single turn.
What specifically?
Well, let's put it this way. Let's say there's a very big problem in the NBA when it comes to being fan friendly. I think the NFL has certain structures in place. I don't love the franchise tag, but as a fan, if I draft you and you're really good, I do have that entity in my back pocket to keep you on my team for a long time.
Now, it's hosing the running backs, but for most other positions, I like that as a fan, yes.
Okay. When I look at the Tampa Bay Rays and the A's, do I love their payrolls? No, actually, I hate them. But I know if my guy's good, contractually, I've got them for 6 years.
Yes.
6 years. Now, I could trade them in year 4 and try to get the most money out of it, blah, 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 blah. But I know I have them for 6 years. In the NBA, like the New Orleans Pelicans, for example, they draft Zion. It feels like Zion has been on a 2-year crusade to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Dame Lillard, what's going on in Portland? He gave them a decade. And I don't fault Dame for wanting to get out, but like the way it's going down, it really sucks for the consumer.
Do you think that's an Adam Silver problem, though? Like, I'm trying to think of it, because it's just, the sport of basketball is so much different. I know we're comparing apples and oranges.
He's been best friends with the players from the jump.
Yes, but it's tricky, because I look at Adam Silver as a guy that's been trying to, like, his first big move was what? The Donald Sterling situation, right? You're banned for life. Donald Sterling, kick rocks, you're out of there.
Let's real quick. The players applied pressure on Adam Silver and weren't going to play in that game.
But I have to give him credit.
And I give the players credit
yes,
for that.
but I give Adam Silver credit also for getting him out of there, because I look at a guy like Dan Snyder, going to cross-sport analogy here.
Yeah.
Dan Snyder's been a horrible owner and human being for the better part of what? How long has he owned that team? And by the way, they have an owners meeting in regards to Dan Snyder today to finally move forward to the sale for the new ownership that includes Magic Johnson. So that's another interesting aspect.
Well, isn't that just kind of like Adam Silver kind of recognizing the fact that the NBA is more of a players' league, whereas the NFL, Major League Baseball, they're not maybe as much as players' leagues? I mean, look at the NBA. Most people are Steph fans. Most people are LeBron fans. Most people are KD fans. Where in the NFL, you don't have guys who are just like, you don't have fans who are locked onto. Well, yeah, but I mean, we're not locked on to, like, you're a Niners fan.
Yes,
you're not a Christian McCaffrey fan. You're give me like another team. You're a Colts fan. You're not just like a Peyton Manning fan, kind of something like that. Yeah, it's like the NBA. It's more player star-driven league. Yes. So I think it kind of makes sense that the commissioner is more friendly with the players, because he understands the players are what drive this league. People show up to see LeBron James. But people aren't necessarily showing up to see the Lakers.
Sam, that's a great point. And look, it's very popular. The NBA is, despite inaccurate reports, the NBA is ridiculously popular on a lot of different platforms, whether we're talking about TV viewership, clicks, impressions.
Internationally, it's probably going to be, it's the best out of the three major sports in America. Like football, obviously, is America's king, but internationally, NBA is growing exponentially. Yes.
Absolutely. I just think where it falls short for me is, it feels like to me, all of the clicks, all of the impressions, all of the care is about the transaction over the action. We're watching generational players, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Nikola Jokic, generational players. And all of the chatter, all of the talk is not about the games themselves. It's about all the drama. It's about who's moving to what team. It's about what this guy said on that guy's podcast about this.
You don't love that?
I think it adds to the fodder. The NFL has that.
Yes.
It adds to the fodder. But at the end of the day, we love the games.
We do.
And I feel like for a large majority of the national talk around the game of basketball, what sucks is that we're talking about the Jordan Poole and Draymond Green punch. We're talking about Dame Lillard's situation and going to Miami. We're talking about Zion wanting out. We're talking about the big three in Brooklyn breaking up and where are they going to go next and what's Kyrie's next move. And so I think that obviously Adam Silver is a representation of the league as a whole. Like, he's not the reason these are problems, but I don't see what his solution is to these problems.